This slideshow is designed to basically reflect the individual cost of World War II on the American people. We're going to look at one individual. His name is Mike, representative of the 16.1 men and women who served in the U.S. Armed Forces. He's a son of immigrants, grows up in inner city Buffalo, in one of those ethnic neighborhoods we were talking about in earlier chapters. He's a steel worker before joining the U.S. military at the outbreak of the war. He's sent thousands of miles away to train at Fort Bliss near El Paso, Texas, where he will be a member of an anti aircraft unit. And he and his fellow unit members will be shipped across the Atlantic Ocean where they survive a torpedo attack against their troop transport before landing in North Africa. Fighting in North Africa against Italian fascists and the Nazi Germans, they will able to be part of that great victory that'll spearhead itself into the what Winston Churchill referred to as the soft underbelly of the Axis powers into Italy. Fighting in the campaigns along the Volturno River and the Rapido River at the Battle of Monte Cassino through terrible elements and through terrible situations, Mike will survive, and eventually, after nearly 2 years overseas, will actually be shipped back home, where he'll be stationed at Camp Blanding in Florida for the next year. Even though he's now no longer in combat, he's still thousands of miles away from his family for another whole year, suffering from what at the time was referred to as battle fatigue, or what we today refer to as post traumatic stress disorder. A lot of his concerns are with his comrades that he left overseas, but Mike is training and preparing for what will be the eventual invasion of Japan, the other enemy during World War II of the United States. Fortunately for Mike and for thousands of other American soldiers, that invasion never occurs because the United States wins that race to develop a nuclear weapon. The use of the nuclear weapon at Hiroshima and Nagasaki, of course, is much debated by scientists at the time, by politicians, and to this day. Again, going back to that conversation we were having about proportionality and the use of escalating military forces and the death of thousands and hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of civilians during the course of the war. But for people like Mike at the time, it's a cost they're willing to take in order to make sure that men like him don't have to continue this struggle for years and years and continue risking their lives. Personally, I'm okay with that in a way because this individual, Mike, is actually my grandfather. And if he had lost his life in Japan, my family and millions of other families like mine may never have grown the way they did after the eventual United States victory at the end of World War II in 1945. So, for even soldiers who had served and weren't among those over 400,000 Americans lost during the war, it definitely changed their life, had a long lasting impact, and would shape not only them, but American culture and society for years to come.